Kalthoff, and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. Today I'm going to share with you a Spooky Cat bundle card, and this time we're using the cat punch. Last time we created a card with this owl image in the Spooky Cat bundle, but this time we're actually going to use this little kitty cat here on the inside panel of our card, and then we're going to use Happy Halloween on the outside, and we're going to use several punches on this card, including the kitty punch that you can bundle in with this Spooky Cat set. And so let's go ahead and get started. Let me give you a close-up of what the card looks like. And it's so cute. And I'm going to show you too how to create this neat label for behind your Happy Halloween. We'll start with a pumpkin pie panel. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to glue on a strip of Designer Series paper. This strip is 1 3/4 by 4 inches, and you can find it in our Spooky Night Designer Series paper, which coordinates with that cute little Spooky Cat bundle. So I really like it. We're going to be using the stripy one back here. So again, 1 3/4 by 4 inches. And so then I'm just going to take my glue and we'll do a nice little border all the way around, and we'll just set this right here on the left hand side of this panel and kind of scoot that in so everything's nice and even. Then I have a 1/2 inch by 5 1/4 inch strip of Cajun Craze cardstock, and again we're going to glue this down. So we'll just set this at the very bottom of our card panel here. Give that a nice little press, and now let's do a little punching. So we need our moon rising in the background, so we're going to just take a piece of scrap paper here. This is So Saffron, and we'll just take a 2-inch circle punch from Stampin Up, and we'll just give that a little punch, and there's our moon. And we can just go ahead and glue that in already. We're just going to set that, pretty much right in the middle, maybe just a tad bit above the middle. So it will look just like that. Then we're going to do a twine wrap, and so I'm going to grab my twine here. This is actually linen thread from Stampin Up. It kind of looks like twine, but it's very thin, and it looks really cool when you wrap it around your piece of cardstock multiple times. So we're going to wrap it around 3 times, cut it off, and then we'll tie it in a knot. And we don't need to worry about how it looks just yet, because that can all be adjusted once the bow is done. So we'll tie it in a knot, and then we will tie it in a bow. And then I'll go ahead and just make a quick bow here. Okay, so we've got our cute little linen thread bow. Now we can scoot all of these various twines together, and then we can scoot our bow right to where we want it on our card. So I think that looks good. Kind of twist it into place. You can fiddle around with that quite a bit if you let yourself get distracted by creating the perfect bow. So we're just going to stop while we're ahead here. And I'm going to take my paper snips and just trim off these edges. Now my paper snips has a little bit of glue on, so it's not quite as sharp as it normally is, but I can remove that later with a little bit of alcohol. All right, so now we'll move on to the next step, and the next step is to put a kitty cat right here. So we're going to take our cat punch, and we're going to take a piece of basic black cardstock. This is just a scrap, so I'm just going to punch out a cat, and then we're going to add some glue right here to the bottom of the cat, and then we're just going to set him over here so his head is kind of peeking up into the moon. And then we're going to do some stamping. So I've got a piece of scrap Very Vanilla. I'll bring my stamping mat into the picture, and we're going to open up a Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad. We'll ink up the Happy Halloween, and we'll just stamp this right here. And then we'll take our label punch, and we will just put that in, give that a press, and we have our Happy Halloween ready to go. But we're going to layer this up on another label, And so we're going to take a brand new label punch that just was introduced. It's called the Everyday Label Punch, and you can actually purchase it as a bundle when you purchase it with the Merry Little labels in our Holiday 2017 catalog. And of course I had to have this stamp set because it has Let It Snow with a deer down here, and you know, being in Minnesota, that's quite attractive to me. And then there's some other cute sayings: eat, drink, and be merry, special delivery from the North Pole, just for you, and no peeking. All of these perfectly coordinating with the Everyday Label Punch. So to make this kind of like, let me show you the card again, to make this kind of fat word window label. Remember we used to have a word window label? Well, that looks just like it, except it's a lot bigger. And it frames the label punch out really nicely. We're just going to take again our piece of scrap paper. Let me grab a piece of white here so that you can see what I'm doing. And you're going to insert it into the punch, but you're only going to bring it as far as where that rounded edge is. And you're going to punch that out. And then you can just take a paper snips and you're just going to cut away the excess on the other side, and you have this cute little label punch that kind of looks like our old word window punch that we used to have, except it's bigger. Now, I did not come up with this idea on my own. We have a great leaders group here in the Twin Cities, and one of the ladies shared on Sunday at one of our leadership get-togethers to do that. And unfortunately, I can't remember exactly who that was anymore. But it was a great idea and I'm running with it. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to take the Happy Halloween, just going to use the tiniest bit of glue on the back so we can scoot it into place. We'll set this right here on our black word panel. I think I'm going to flip this over, and that way you can see and I can see where we're scooting it to so we can get it right where we want it. Doesn't that look cute? I just love that nice little border that kind of extra wide accent puts around the Happy Halloween. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some dimensionals. And as you can see, I just added 2 dimensionals here, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this right on our card so that it is just over the top of that twine, right here on the left-hand side. Then we can go ahead and we're just going to glue this on a card base. So we're going to use Basic Black as our card base. This is 4 1/4 by 11 inches, scored at 5 1/2. And I'm just going to fold along that fold line here and use my bone folder and give that a nice press. And then because we have all this twine wrapped on the back, we want to give this card a little bit of lift. So I'm just going to attach it to my card base with some dimensionals. And then you can just turn that over and we'll just set this right in. Actually, I'm going to grab this paper again so I can see what I'm doing. Just set that in so it's nice and have all 4 corners nice and even. And now that almost looks perfect, except we haven't done the inside and we want to do just a little decorating here around the moon. And so I'm going to grab some gold enamel shapes, and then I'm going to take my paper piercing tool and we'll just grab a couple of stars, and we'll put the first star right up here. And then we'll take another star and we'll set that right here above the Halloween. And then we'll just grab one of these small enamel dots and we'll just add one right here. And so doesn't that look cute? I just love it. Then we're going to open it up and we're going to do the inside panel of the card. So this is 4 by 5 1/4 and it's very vanilla. And I already went ahead and put a 3/4 inch by 4 inch strip of the same designer paper that I used on the front of the card so we can kind of carry our theme through. And then we're going to grab again the Stampin' Mat. We're going to ink up that little spooky cat that comes in the Spooky Cat stamp set. And it has all kinds of sentiments on this kitty cat here. Happy Halloween and trick or treat and spooky and eek, and it's very cute. So I'll give that a nice press. And we have the inside panel complete. Now it looks like I pressed a little bit too hard, so one thing that I can do in the future, if this ever happens to you, you can just go in with the scissors and just trim off a little bit of that excess photopolymer right through here, and then you won't get that shadow there. But it's not a disaster, so I'm just going to go ahead and use it. So to put it onto the card, I'm just going to use a little bit of snail, and then we're going to set this in just like so. And our card is complete. So here's the one I've just completed, and here is the one I had done in advance. Thank you so much for stopping by Stamping to Share. I truly appreciate you. If you'd like to stop by my blog, you can certainly visit it at www.stampingtoshare.com, and I have links there for you to find my online store. Have a great day. Bye-bye.